Good day, ma'am. I am Hanah Purgarillas from BSHM 3A, and I am going to discuss the chapter 1, which will be the case of the Coral Resort droning. So, the Robinson family went on a 3-day weekend getaway in a popular resort in the Visayas, which is the Coral Resort, which takes pride in its hospitable service, first-rate cuisine, and well-maintained resort facilities. So, Martin Robinson, president of an American multinational company based in Manila, took his wife Angie and children Patty, age 6, and Geoff, age 5, to this beautiful resort to celebrate their wedding anniversary. So the first day was enjoyable because the children had a great time at the resort's refreshing swimming pool, despite the lack of a lifeguard on duty. The chef delighted the family with local cuisines, and every staff was courteous and cheerful. On the second day, there weren't many people checked in the resort. Just before sunset, Angie woke up and started to look for Patty, and she was nowhere to be found. Geoff was with his dad the whole afternoon, walking by the bench. After searching for 30 minutes with the help of some hotel staff, Patty was found in the swimming pool already dead. One of the staff immediately performed a standard CPR but to no avail. Can the Robinson family hold the hotel liable for the death of their daughter? What are the responsibilities of a resort with a swimming pool? Would you consider the resort negligent in this situation? What are the rights of hotel guests? So before we proceed on answering all questions we have, first our topic outline. First is the case of the Coral Resort zoning. Next is the definition of law. Next is the kinds of law. Next is the concept in tourism law. And lastly is the importance and application of tourism law. So in the end of the topic, here are the learning objectives. So we identify the different kinds of laws relevant to the tourism, travel, and hospitality industry. Explaining the concept of the tourism law. Next is to enumerate important sources of tourism law. And lastly is to give examples of application of tourism law. So here's the definition of law in its general and abstract sense, or derecho. It is the science of moral laws founded on the rational nature of man that governs his free activity for the realization of the individual and social ends of life under an aspect of mutual conditional dependence. In its specific and concrete sense, it is defined as a rule of conduct, just and obligatory, promulgated by legitimate authority, and of common observance and benefit. So here are the kinds of law. So for our purposes, the different kinds of law are classified into two, which is first as the purpose. First is the substantive law. Second is the adjective law. So next is the as to scope. First is general or public law. Second is which has an example of criminal law, international law, political law. Next is the special or private law, which has examples of civil law, maritime law, and mercantile law. Next is the concept of tourism law. Tourism is defined as the custom or practice of traveling for pleasure, as well as the promotion by establishment of countries to attract tourists. So the importance and application of tourism law. So today, society has evolved wherein business establishments engaged in tourism have been in the food service, hotel service, transportation service, travel and tour operations, events management, and even medical tourism, among others, all for the interest of gratification, happiness, amusement, and entertainment of people traveling from place to place. E-commerce has now been considered a way of necessity to do business in tourism. So about the questions earlier about the case of the coral resort zoning. So this case revolves around the legal liability of a resort in connection with the accidental drowning of a young guest. It raises important questions. What about negligence, duty of care, and the rights of hotel guests under tourism law? So first is the legal responsibility of resorts with swimming pools. Resorts have an obligation to ensure the safety and security of their guests. So this includes providing lifeguards or clear warnings if no lifeguards are present. So next is maintaining proper signage about pool safety rules. Next is the ensuring the pool area is secure, especially for children. Lastly is implementing emergency protocols for accidents. So if the resort fails in these duties, it could be considered negligent, making them liable for any accidents. Second question, can the Robinson family hold the resort liable? So, to determine liability, we must analyze whether the resort was negligent. A negligence claim has four elements. So, first is the duty of care, which is the resort has a legal duty to ensure the safety of its guests, including children. Second is the breach of duty. The resort failed to provide a lifeguard or safety measures. Third is the causation. If Patty drowned due to the lack of a lifeguard, the resort's negligence directly caused her death. Lastly is the damages. The Robinson family suffered the tragic loss of their child. If these elements are proven, the resort can be held liable for wrongful death. Third question, was the resort negligent? So the lack of a lifeguard on duty is a strong indication of negligence, especially since the resort allows children in the pool. So additionally, there were few guests on the second day, meaning staff should have been more attentive. The resort may argue that parents are responsible for their children's supervision, but this does not eliminate their duty to provide safety measures. Fourth, fourth is the rights of hotel guests. Under Philippine tourism law, hotel guests have right to safe and secure facilities. Next is proper emergency response in case of accident. Third is the compensation for harm caused by the resort's negligence. Lastly is to access to legal remedies if their rights are violated. If found negligent, the resort may face civil liability or damages or even criminal liability, reckless imprudence resulting in homicide. So, for the application of tourism law, this case highlights the importance of tourism laws in protecting travelers. So here are the key legal principles. It involves civil law, which covers liability for personal injury or wrongful death. Next is the mercantile law. It governs contracts between hotels and guests. Lastly is the consumer protection law. It ensures businesses provide safe services. So by understanding these laws, hotels can improve safety and guests can assert their rights in case of negligence. So the conclusion of this story, the Coral Resort case emphasizes the legal responsibilities of hospitality businesses and the rights of tourists under Philippine tourism law. Resorts must take reasonable precautions to prevent accidents, and failure to do so can lead to legal consequences. So this case serves as an example of how tourism laws protect guests, regulate businesses, and promote accountability in the hospitality industry.